After a thrilling night in Daytona last Saturday night, Midnight Racing League Super Speedway Series returns to Talladega. Drivers trying to dig themselves out of a rut. Some trying to stay afloat in their playoff attempts. Right now, the only one that is safe officially, as far as the playoff goes, would be the 4 of Corey Wright. So right now, as they run in practice with about 16 and a half minutes remaining, Taylor Austin, Aaron Stanton, Kevin Allen, Kevin Tipton, and Kenny Rayner, the top 5. Mitchell Randone, Tyler Markell, Logan Young, Willie Burton, and John Rotrup rounds out your top 10. Luke Freeman, Edward Kimmel, and Robbie Adams are the 13 drivers who have posted a lap so far tonight. And right now, while we have a few minutes here, the first thing we're going to do first is going to look a little, might look a little wonky, and it's definitely going to cut out part of this. So I'm going to go ahead and show it now, get it out the way. The points coming into tonight, I know, a little big, but Corey Wright, your winner. Gordon Glidewell, Gary Steele, Tyler Markell, Aubrey Thompson, J.D. Radish, Mark Pearson, Mitchell Randone, Kevin Allen, and Adams, Conley, and Cook. Them are the ones above the cut line coming into tonight. Henson, Lay, Civic, and Millicar all looking in, along with several other drivers tonight. But another developing story, Justin Millicar not here tonight. That's another developing story. Well, right now, as it stands, we're going to try to interview several drivers tonight pertaining to that bubble. Sorry, I don't know why that's on. Matter of fact, let's see if we can get one of these drivers that's above the cut line. Let's see. Dylan Conley, Gary Jenkins up here in the broadcast booth. Buddy, you got a copy?
Yep.
Well, buddy, walking into the night, a great run at Daytona right now has you sitting 2 points above the playoff cut line. Is the playoffs really something you're worried about right now, or is it just trying to get the season started off right?
It's race 2. We're not worried about the playoffs.
Well, as far as tonight goes, what's the plan for the 95 to get to victory lane, or better yet, just walk out of here with a top 10, top 5? What's the plan? What's the strategy that goes into these types of races?
dodge the wrecks, be ahead or behind them, and just try to find a dancing partner if there is one. So that's really it.
Well, buddy, last question. I'll let you get ready for this race. Is there anybody you want to thank tonight? Friends, family, sponsors, etc. The floor is yours.
42 Paints, Alex Nessie making my lizard car tonight. Shout out everybody follows me on Twitch. I'm not live yet, but I will be shortly. Alpha Prime Racing, all those guys, just all my followers, all the people that enjoy the races you guys put the broadcast on. Oh, I'm probably going to forget somebody, but all the people who put this league on, kind of one of my favorite leagues I've ever raced in, and I enjoy it, and I think that's everybody.
All right, buddy. Best of luck to you tonight. Hopefully we'll talk to you in the winner circle.
Yes, sir.
So with that, Dylan Conley now goes into the night 11th in the points. 12 drivers make the playoffs. Of course, then tonight, like he said, Dodge Directs. That's the big thing that's going to come out of this tonight. Try Dodge Directs. Try to keep everything in check. Right now. Well, of course, we're going to pull in somebody no stranger to being up front. Matter of fact, let a decent amount at Daytona last week. We're going to try to pull him in. If he ain't too busy, of course. Aubrey Thompson, Garrett Jenkins up here in broadcast booth. Got a copy, buddy?
Yes, sir.
Well, buddy, you're walking into the night, honestly, in a great spot. As far as points go, walking in here, fifth in the point standings. What's the plan tonight for the 30, for the 32, or the 5, or what you go off of, the 0? You go through about as many numbers as what I do. If we ain't gonna get involved in that part, but what's the plan tonight for Aubrey Thompson to walk out of here, playoffs still intact, or possibly get the win, other than the luck side of things?
The luck side of things. No, best thing you do, like any other speedway race, just stay out of trouble. Fuel mileage might become a play. It just depends on how many green flag laps we get. That's gonna be the biggest thing. These cars, they can be tricky with pushing, so we'll see.
Well, buddy, good.
They definitely have the tendency to bumper hook, so we'll see how it goes.
Well, buddy, I want to ask you tonight, does the great run for Daytona last week, does that kind of motivate you tonight, or is it that we're at Talladega and it's obviously a much wider track, 3 wide is a little bit more forgiving. We see it in HGR all the time. Does Talladega kind of worry you, or do you ride the momentum from last week at Daytona with a 5th place run?
No, I mean, I think both tracks are pretty much the same. I mean, I go into them the same way, stay out of trouble. I mean, that's all you can do with speedway racing. The big one going to happen. It's just a matter of when. I mean, it always does. So, my luck, I can't stay out of trouble half the time. So, we'll see, though.
All right, buddy. Best of luck to you. We'll let you get ready for qualifying here in about 8 minutes.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. So Aubrey Thompson giving us his insight. Of course, Thompson walk in here 5th in the points. Just right now, Try to get a little bit of cars on track here. Well, Michael Wingo, a lot of you know him if you follow along through the Raging Idiot Racing Network channel on a weekly. Michael Wingo making his Midnight Racing League Super Speedway Series debut. A very well-known favorite in HGR and MMS. Gonna see what the 25 can do tonight. Well, right now, the driver that does sit, as a matter of fact, try to get somebody below the cut line here if we can find somebody. Wrong person. So let's see here. Who is below the cut line? So right now, as we wait, some drivers pop into the Discord. Able to interview them right now. Top 10 as they run. Edward Kimmel, Kenny Rayner, Luke Freeman, Kevin Tempton, Tyler Austin, Michael Wingo, Brandon Goins, Robbie Adams, Willie Burton, and Aaron Stanton. Right now, the top 10 in the running order. See what we can get. Be sure he ain't on track first. Right now, you look at your fastest man in practice right now, Edward Kimmel. We'll see if we can't get a quick word with him if he's got time. Edward Kimmel, Garrett Jenkins up here in broadcast booth. You got a quick copy, buddy? Try this one more time. Edward Kimmel, Garrett Jenkins up here in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Oh, copy. What's going on, man?
Well, buddy, just want to ask you tonight. I know I caught you at a bad time, but just want to ask you right now, sitting fourth in practice, what do you feel like the car is going to handle tonight? Looks like a bit of an overcast, possibly track's a little cooler. What's it going to take tonight for the 55 to get to victory lane or salvage a good run tonight?
I'm just going to try to hang out in the back and keep the car clean as much as possible for the early beginning of the race and see what we can do at the very end and see if we can make our way to the front.
Well, buddy, I do want to ask only because Aubrey Thompson alluded to this earlier. Do you feel like with drivers trying to bump each other, according to Aubrey, they got kind of that hooking sensation, it's easy to turn around. Do you feel like that's going to play a factor in tonight's race?
Yeah, I feel that's going to be a big factor, so that's why I just want to try to hang out in the back and just keep my eyes forward and see if anything unfolds and have a clean car for the very end of the race.
All right, buddy. Best of luck to you tonight. Hopefully talk to you at the end of this thing.
All right, have a good race, good broadcast. Thanks.
Yes, sir. So Nash rack in full effect with the 162 and Nick, Edward Kimmel, Kenny Rayner, and Robbie Adams. I'm on the Nash rack. 4 drivers tonight. Right now, 3.5 minutes to go. Wrapping up. Good Dustin. Let's see if you can right now. All right. Dustin Zach, Garrett Jenkins up here in broadcast booth, buddy. Got a quick copy? Try this one more time. Dustin Zach, Gary Jenkins up here in the broadcast booth. You got a copy, buddy?
Yes, sir, I'm here. My bad, I was muted.
Ah, you're good. I figured, but well, coming into the night, I want to ask you the same question I asked Dylan Conley whenever I put him up here. Now, I understand second race of the season, little ways to go. But right now, sitting 15th outside the playoffs. I want to ask you how, for your experience, how good is points this early in the season?
Honestly, I don't have that much experience. This is like my first actual league I'm racing in, but at the beginning, I don't think it'll matter as much as towards the middle of the season.
Well, buddy, well, coming into tonight, of course, right now, a minute and a half for qualifying, so I ain't going to keep you too long. But what can we expect out of tonight with these cars? Do you feel like the race is going to try to tend to where drivers are just trying to ride along, make a pit stop, or do you feel like there's going to be a few cautions in between?
Oh, there's definitely going to be a few cautions in between. You're going to see me sitting towards the back most of the race until the last 15 laps or so.
All right, buddy. Well, look, I'll drop you on back down. Best of luck to you. Best of luck to you tonight. I hope we'll talk to you at the end of this thing.
Thanks, dude.
Yep. I still think, I don't know. That being said, upon request, I apologize. Me a little late on this. 24 seconds to go. Let me see if I can find him. Got to find him first, that's the thing. Oh, right there. Brandon Goins, Gary Jenkins up here in the broadcast booth. Buddy, you got a quick copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, buddy, upon request, a fan wanted me to interview you. I want to ask you tonight, practice just concluding, so I'm going to let you concentrate on qualifying. Just going to ask you one or two questions. I want to ask tonight, first off, how do you feel like the race will transpire? Do you feel like a lot of guys will just try to ride in the back, try to be patient? What's the strategy for the 15 tonight?
So I'm going to go out and I'm going to qualify. I mean, yeah, I'm new to this league, and I'm also new to the Midnight Racing League as far as the Contender Series too. But there's no point in starting in the back if I can't learn to race in the middle of the pack with these guys I'm planning on racing a full season with. So last night it was kind of disappointing. I ended up running out of fuel with 1 lap left, so it's going to be a lot about fuel management and just trying to stay clean so I can be there for the end, because you can't win it on lap 1.
Now, buddy, I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this part as well. With tonight, I do want to ask, as far as experience go with these cars, and I'm sure everybody has their own opinions about them, but really, how difficult is it when it's crunch time, it's time to get going to the front? How difficult is it really to try to make moves with this car, especially in a draft where a lot of people say there's something called gridlock, everybody's stuck in place? How hard is that to try to break that without trying to cost yourself time, trying to form a third lane somewhere?
So with these cars, that's something I've learned too. Compared to like the next gens when we run those with Super Speedway, next gen cars are really heavy upon learning how to drive with the air. Compared to these, they still make a lot of mechanical grip with a solid rear end versus independent rear suspension. Some people believe it's not like that in simulator. For me, when it comes to Xfinity cars, they seem really loose. And then same way when we're bump drafting, if you don't hit them just right, it's easy enough to shoot them across the track. So it's going to be kind of one of those things of a lot of give, a lot of take, a lot of patience, kind of learn how we're all going to run together before we end up in the big one that nobody really wants to be in at Talladega.
All right, buddy. Well, best of luck to you tonight. Hopefully we'll talk to you at the end of this thing. I'll get out your hair and let you go ahead and qualify.
I appreciate it, sir. Thank you.
Yes, sir. All right, now as they run, Logan Young, top of the board with a 54.447. And several other drivers now starting across the start-finish line. We'll look at Mitchell. We're done now. We'll sit in the fourth quickest right now. Nobody really seemed to be able to get close to that 4:47. As I just said that, Tyler Austin, top of the board with a 54.437. Then scratch that one. Michael Wingo, top of the board. Of course, alluded to it earlier. A lot of you have seen Michael Wingo on the HGR and MMS side of things right now, sitting on pole, but still got a whole nother lap to run. Aaron Stanton right now. And get a look at a 27. Right now a 28.1. This is either going to be a throwaway lap, and more than likely it will be with 2 laps. You see now Luke Freeman, Tyler Freeman, and Markle will now get knocked back down by Watkins Jr. A great run by Jr. up to second tonight. These several drivers starting to pop up right now. Stanton's first lap, 19th quickest. So now it's migrated down to the bottom. This will probably be, like I said, the first lap was probably the throwaway lap. Well, right now, Kevin Tinton slides into 16th. Of course, a lot of drivers know Kevin Tipton as well from various other leagues. HGR, one of them, along with MMS. You'll see a lot of drivers like that tonight from different ones, different leagues. But right now, Aaron Stanton's lap isn't enough to go up from 19th spot. Survey says 54.441. It is 9th quickest. Right now, CJ Papa on the board, several other drivers as well. We'll go through Gavin Henson now at the line for Henson. 54.486. Good enough for 18th for the first lap. Right now, just over 4.5 minutes remaining. We'll go ahead and pop the first question of the race tonight. 6. Good enough. Of course, then I don't have to answer this one, but you know, I'd like to see it. Get some insight. So that's the first question as we keep tuning in to qualifying. Right now, Frank Chavez down to start his first lap. And a beautiful number 23 Monster Energy entry. Well, right now, Kevin Tipton, Corey Wright, top of the board. Tipton in first, Wright second. Of course, Corey Wright, the winner from Daytona, is already locked into the playoffs tonight. See if we can get a word with him later on throughout the race. Right now, this is going to be good. Let's get a word with Kevin Tipton. Kevin Tipton, Garrett Jenkins up here in broadcast booth, buddy. Long time no see. How you doing?
Man, it's been great, Garrett. How you doing, man?
Doing pretty good right now. Of course, a lot of people that's probably watched several of my broadcasts. You're no surprise to a lot of them. Right now, sitting top of the board. What's the plan tonight for the 30 to try to get back to victory lane, try to get their first win in Midnight Racing League? What's the strategy going tonight?
Yeah, I mean it's a little bit longer race than some of the ones I know we've ran. You've broadcasted for me, so it's just going to be trying to keep this car clean. I got a teammate out there with me, so we'll be trying to work together. But it's my first Midnight Racing League race, so I'm just glad they had me. So super excited.
Well, buddy, I am going to say this. You mentioned that teammate course. I got a feeling I know which one it is, but I do want to ask. You got several other drivers for several other leagues in here tonight, form alliances with over the years. Could they potentially come in to help you when you need it, or whenever it gets down to the nitty gritty, every man for himself?
Yeah, absolutely. It's every man for themselves. There's a few of the guys in here I've raced with before. They know I'll help them if I can. I hope they would help me if they can, but at the end of the day, I think everyone's coming out here trying to get a win.
Well, buddy, last question for you, and it's normally saved for during interviews, but in case we don't get the interview at the end of this thing, is there anybody want to thank Night Friends, family, sponsors, etc.? The floor is yours.
Yeah, huge thanks to the guys at Midnight Racing League for getting me in. I just messaged them like half an hour ago. It's my first race, so thanks to Justin. Thanks to Mark Person for hooking it up. Thanks to Corey Wright for putting it on tonight. And thanks to you for putting on the broadcast.
Yes, sir, buddy, not a problem. Best of luck to you tonight. Right now, with just over a minute to go, Kevin Tempton on pole. Good luck, buddy. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yep. All right, now we'll talk to a driver. No stranger to me ever interviewing him.
Yeah,
What's up, Michael Wingo? Garrett Jenkins up here broadcast, buddy. Got a copy, buddy?
I got you, buddy.
Well, buddy, right now, an unfamiliar sight. Right now, sitting inside the top 10. You really have worked on qualifying over the last couple of weeks, haven't you?
Oh yeah, yeah, I have. Just got through running a 100-lap race at Daytona in the same car. Should have won it, but I didn't.
Well, buddy.
But
You jump out of one race, you come into another. I want to ask how after just running 100 laps, how mentally straining is it to jump in from one car, jump into another one, and you got to redo it all over again?
I had about a 30-minute rest. Went and got me a Red Bull and a TV dinner, so I'm ready now. Refueled.
Well, buddy, about to grid up here, so I ain't gonna keep you much longer. I do want to say, in case we don't get a chance to interview you after a race, or anybody wanted to shout out Night Friends, family, sponsors, etc., the floor is yours. I know you got John Ward watching this.
I don't know if he's staying up this late or not, but yeah, Daytona Pros, that's my race team I usually race with, so I'd like to thank them and thank my wife for letting me stay up this racing late.
Well, buddy, best of luck to you tonight. Hopefully we will talk to you at the end of this thing, but until then, long 50 laps. Best of luck to you.
All right, buddy, we'll see you.
Yep. So interviews concluded. The pre-race coverage is done and over. And tonight, we're going to get ready to see the Midnight Racing League right here for Talladega. 50 quick laps. Well, we say quick. Sometimes they're not as quick, but regardless, we're going to see how it goes, how it rolls out. Working on getting the starting grid working at the moment. Well, through the starting grid tonight. Okay, there it is. Kevin Tinton, Mark Pearson on the front row. Corey Wright, Frank Chavez starting forward. Dylan Conley, Michael Wingo, Timothy Cook, Juan Carlos Jr., Robbie Adams, Gavin Henson, Luke Freeman, Tyler Markell, the top 12, the fast 12 as I like to call them. On down through the field, Logan Young, Trevor Harmon, John Road-Truck, Taylor Austin, Mitchell Redun, Aaron Stanton, Dustin Seck, R.J. Murphy, Kenny Rayner, C.J. Papa, Gary Steele, and Willie Burton rounds out the top 24. And on down through the rest of the field. Well, 35 drivers on hand. A little bit more than what we had the last time. Scott Lee, Brandon Goins, Kevin Allen, Robert Charity, Braden Powers, Aaron Rowland, Edward Kimmel, Aubrey Thompson, Joseph Allen, Kevin Winker, and Chase Mastrada rounds out the 35 car field for tonight. So 100% of everybody said Corey Wright does not repeat. Very possible. I can actually see where all that can be truthful, but we won't know until the end of this 50-lap run. With 35 drivers, it was a bit chaotic the last time. Only going to be a little bit more chaotic. Well, pace cars in. Timpton and Pearson brings them down to the United Rentals restart zone. Round 2 for season 2 of the Midnight Racing Super Speedway Series. We're rolling. Right now, Kevin Timpton storms down the back straightaway, bottom lane in tow, but here comes Pearson to the outside. We want Mark Pearson tonight. Trying to have a great run. Several drivers are. Some drivers making their debut tonight. It's going to be interesting to see how it works out. Right now, Timpton holding that bottom with Corey Wright at the bottom, the Daytona winner. Trying to make something happen. At the line, Timpton leads the first lap. Oh no, I gotta take care of something. There we go, much better. So down the back straightaway, Pearson still leading. We're trying to get the lead more or less. But right now, you got Frank Chavez Jr. right behind him trying to push in. Michael Wingo, third car on the outside lane, trying to make something happen. But right now, you'll see this a lot. Outside lane, able to get the runs off the corners. You see Timpton up to cover the outside lane. And Timpton knows, but what I'm referring to, the outside lane to get such a great run off corners and through the tri-oval. But the Achilles tendon has one car on the apron. We'll try to keep it safe. So that'll be his 362 of Robbie Adams. Like I was saying, maybe you'll see it right here. Down back straightaway, looking to run the outside lane. Gets drawn right back up to Corey Wright's door. But the Achilles tendon to the outside lane when they're formed up. They'll give it right back up on entry. You see, not able to get clear right, immediately right back to his door. We saw early, a couple of laps ago, Timpton able to stay clear of the top lane. The top lane's great for getting a run off the corner, but you got to get clear. right now. Wright still leading. And right now, this is the calm part of the race. Well, it should be the calm part. The driver's going to try to conserve fuel. Going to be trying to get a fuel run out of this. Because the drivers who can get on and off pit road tonight cleanly, if there is a green flag pit stop, will be the drivers in contention for this win tonight. Right now, Tipton trying to storm back on the outside. Right, side by side at the line. Give it to Corey Wright again. Barely. Matter of fact, I was wrong. Scoring Kevin Tipton as the one leading that last lap. Tipton has already led 3 of the 5 laps. And I see a couple of drivers trying to make something happen deep in the back. Well, Joseph Allen, one of them had a great run going at Daytona to an end weekend. Oh, they're wrecking! Caution is out. Dustin Sexton involved. Kevin Allen going to slow on down. And Tyler Marco's sneaking through. Logan Young all tore up already. Aaron Rowlands also got a piece of it. A fast repair already in use. 13 CJ Papa as well. We caught that right at the perfect time. Man, oh man. Well, it comes on lap 5. I just alluded to green flag pit stops. This is going to push them back a lot. But this will get a chance for a lot of drivers to try to come in, see what happened. Well, right now, Aaron Rowland's riding in the back of this, so it's going to be hard to see really what transpires from his part. Oh, it's going to start way up there mid-pack. There's that one car upside down. Good gosh to mighty damn. See if we can't figure out who. Logan Young, it was Logan Young. Alright. So this is really going to give us some insight as that Spotify Toyota is tore up. Right here next to Aaron standing the 027. Okay, so the 14. Okay. Really what it looks like Robbie Adams kind of gets put out of line. God almighty, what an impact. Notice how the rear end's already bent all to hell. Ain't no wonder. Let's look at it slowly though. I'm gonna back it up a little bit more than that. Because it's all gonna start right here. Right here looks like 352 kind of gives the 14 a bad shot. They're going to get on the apron. 350, 362, one of the ones. One of them two numbers. Comes up into the 167 of Young. Aaron Steen gets a piece of it. CJ Papa falls right in John Road Truck's lap. It's going to go hard into the outside wall and then into oncoming traffic. Joseph Allen right on board with him, just barely getting through that. That is 602. Murphy, I believe. Man, oh man. It's right on board with Logan Young through this. This is going to be a wild ride unlike anything he's ever seen. So for Logan Young, already upside down on his roof. Let's try on board Robbie Adams. I want to see like what transpires before we go back live. Right there, that one push, a little off center. Gonna get him all sideways, gonna come right back up, make contact from there. right now, at the front of the field, Kevin Tender continues to lead. Dylan Conley, Mark Pearson, Corey Wright, and Timothy Cook, the top 5. We can't get Logan Young. Logan Young, Garrett Jenkins up here in the broadcast booth. You got a copy, buddy?
Yes, sir.
Well, buddy, bit of a wild ride for you to say the least. I do want to ask you, how's this going to affect the rest of the race, being you've already got one fast repair done and gone?
Well, it just means I got to be extra careful, really pay attention today, so just going to keep racing and hope for the best from here on out.
All right, buddy. Well, I'd love to interview you a little bit longer, but I'm going to let you get ready to go to green here.
Thank you very much. Have a good one.
You too, buddy. So for Logan Young, we'll be restarting in the somewhere around the 19th spot. Well, Kevin Tenton's led 5 laps so far tonight of the 7. It's going to be 43 to go. Everybody did come to pit road under that last stop. So right now, everything pretty much resets. So I rewrite the top 10. Kevin Tenton, Dylan Conley. Connolly, whatever. Mark Pearson, Corey Wright, Timothy Cook, Juan Carlos Jr., Michael Wingo, Trevor Harmon, Frank Chavez, and Gavin Henson. That is the top 10. Tempton now gets ready to bring us to the restart zone to try to get this race going again. We're rolling. Got to start attempting one, and however, Dylan not quite cleared yet. And he ain't going to be clear. No, he got a great push for Corey Wright. Right now, down the back straightaway. Tempton continuing to try to edge out ahead. Right now, outside lane, even though they're 4 and up, it's going to take a lap for them to really get that run off the outside. Well, right now, still 2 by 2 by 2. A little bit more spread out, though, than what we occasionally see. Now, here comes Tempton. Well, right now, Dylan with a massive push again from the 4 right at the line. Tempton still going to edge out ahead. Kevin Tempton leads his 6th lap, so the race with 21 to go. Well, right now, as we stand, your biggest movers of the race so far tonight. Brandon Goings up 12 spots from where he started. Willie Burton up 11. Scott Lee up 10. Brain Powers up 13. Edward Kimmel up 10 spots. Drivers really starting to work their way up to the front. Right now you look from the blink camera. Game start number 15 of Goings, one of the biggest movers. Right now I think everybody's wanting to try to settle out, making it calm for the most part. Still a little ways to go, still room for a green flag pit stop. Right now Goings running in 13th. As they're still side by side for the lead coming off of turn 2. Right now, Connolly and Wright still trying to make that outside lane work, but right now it just isn't. Oh, spinner in the back. Oh, to wreck it big. Eric Kimmel's involved. CJ Papa again. Kenny Rayner's in the grass. Eric Kimmel's involved. I believe RJ Murphy was one of them. I know Murphy don't look like he got a lot of damage right now. Well, for Kevin Allen, he seems like he gets through. For Rayner and Kimmel, already to pit road, a fast repair already going to be required for both drivers. And with 39 laps to go, we're under caution again for the second time tonight. Let's see what happens here. Somebody's going to get turned sideways. I know that for a fact. Who's that car right there still on the apron? Well, from there it's just a massive checkup. Driver's not seeing other ones slowing down. We're going to try to figure out who that car was that took that slide. John Rotrup, maybe? No, it's on up further than that. Okay, right here. So we're looking at Aubrey Thompson. Try that 79. Who's in that 79? That would be Gary Steele. Oh, no, it's a 70. For Robert. 70 Robert. Charlotte. First off, a hell of a save. First and foremost, an awesome save for the 70. Now we're going to fall back to the back here and see how all this transpires. Right there checking out. That's pretty much all she wrote. Okay, 55 against on the apron. 70 nudges him, and then from there, everybody just piling in. Gosh almighty, man. You hate to see it. Right on board with the 55. Right there, bam, to the back bumper, and then just going to get projected up into the wall, and from there, massive, massive shots. Well, next driver we're going on board with, we'll see how Kevin Allen navigates through this. Well, really, he's so far back, a little bit of a lag. He's so far back, he's just going to work his way through it. From CJ Papa's view of things, this ought to be good. They're rolling on the outside, going off the brakes, off the brake. Fortunately, just the hole was there, then the hole closed up. And right now, Papa's still in the pits. As Trevor Harmon leads. Well, right now, top 20 as they run under the second caution of the night. I think several drivers opted to stay out. No, everybody pitted again. Just, man, some drivers leaping up through the field. Trevor Harmon up 13 spots. How about Brandon Goins up to second, 24 spots gained. Willie Burton up 21. Your leader, Kevin Timpton, before this start, down in 6th. right now they got the one to green down the back straightaway. Trevor Harmon, Brandon Goins, William Burton, Logan Young's had a nice recovery after going flailing through the air earlier in the race up to fourth. Dustin Set up to fifth. Kevin Tinton, Mark Pissing, Dylan Conley, Corey Wright, Timothy Cook rounds out the top 10. Go ahead and wrap out the top 20 while we're at it. Juan Carlos Jr., Luke Freeman, Frank Chavez, Michael Wingo, Gavin Henson, Braden Powers, Aaron Stanton, Scott Lake, Trevor Austin, and Robbie Adams rounds out the top 20. Alright. Try this one more time. Harmon and Goins brings them to United Rentals restart zone. Let's do it again. Have an awkward restart for several drivers. Not really a lot of drivers getting up to speed, some caught sleeping. Well, down back straightaway, you see the results of how drivers, whenever you get a restart like that where nobody really goes, they all just kind of get spread out. But here comes the outside lane with Kevin Tinton and Dylan Conley now. Timothy Cook also playing a hand in this, storming up the outside. Like the 030 shot out of a cannon. That cannon being the 95 of Dylan, pushing him. See there, 3 wide back there, Luke Freeman. Aaron standing in the middle between Freeman and Chavez. Well, right now, Freeman, the odd man out. Nobody really going with him. He's going to have help down at the bottom, or at the top where he was. But for Freeman now, trying to find a place just to ride. Well, Kevin Tipton back to the lead. The pole sitter. Well, that 030. Kevin Tinton, a very fast piece tonight. Really brought a car that can really show that they can contend for the win, can do just about anything he asks it to. Right now, Connolly still working the outside lane with Cook. Radio 22 to Dustin Seck up there in that middle lane as well. Outside lane still trying to get formed up with Michael Wingo. Trying to lead that third lane. You're right on board. Well, you actually follow him in the far chase cam. Better camera would be the chopper cam. Well, him and Freeman's trying to make stuff happen. They're doing a great job. Unfortunately, as I said, that massive run down the back straightaway. But not a lot of help. Eventually, it's going to start failing them. Freeman, if he wants to, he can get down right now. Well, right now, Tempton continues to lead here at Talladega, 33 laps to go. Well, right now, you see 3 White Ash starting to pick up just a little bit. A couple more drivers starting to get brave. Migrate up to that third line. Wingo, Conley down. Recover Kevin Tipton. Oh, contact Wingo, there to go. It's the big one. The big one strikes early. Talladega, Michael Wingo upside down. Massive damage. Brandon Goins upside down. Stan knocks him back on his lid. Man, oh man, does that take out a lot of drivers. It's about as big as it gets, and when it happens right at the front of the field, you know it's going to be big when it does. Gosh, to mighty dang. Be easier to list the drivers not involved than the ones that aren't. Or the ones that are. Try to find Michael Wingo, because this is where it's going to start, somewhere at the front. Well, let's rewind it here. Well, let's just set us up going down the back straightaway. So right now, the driver's starting to migrate to the top. They know the third lane's trying to roll. Freeman gets a run. Tap. Wow. I don't know if I can put that on. I don't know if I can really put that on Freeman, but you see there, everybody's starting to pile in, nowhere to freaking go. So I'll reiterate what I mean. Well, I don't think I can put this on Tempton. Of course, I'm not the race control, so this is just my unbiased opinion, or my honest opinion. So right here, Freeman's getting the run. He is going to make contact with Wingo, going to try to get as square as he could. Now it's unclear if that gets, to me it's hard to really tell if it gets the 025 off centered. Regardless, Wingo comes down, and when it starts at the front like that with the top five, it is going to be a wild ride for everybody else. And Sec falls right in his lap in that 022. Meanwhile, several drivers try to sneak through in the bottom. A lot of them will, but everybody else, Corey Wright, will barely get through this. Maybe a little bit of contact, but from there, everybody just goes piling in. See if we can't ride on board with a couple drivers here. Well, I know we can. First one I want to ride on board with the 27 of Aaron Stanton. He's going to see really how this works. Right there's a contact. From there, it's just chain reaction. Nobody knows where to go. Nobody can get out the way of nobody, and bam, 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 and bam. Over and over. You're wondering when's it going to stop. From Brain Goings on board. We're on board a gyro cam. Just there nothing you can do, damn. And Stan's going back into him and knock him right back over. From Joseph Allen. He's going to make massive contact. He's going to get rail 2 of his own. You hate to see it. Well, folks, we're under caution again. Clean up out there in turn 3 after this incident. Involving Michael Wingo and several others. Well, Vernier does not do it just, but bam, bam, bam. Everybody just collected. And that being said, we're going to go back live. We're going to try to go back live. Right now, lights are out on the pace car real fast. We're going to switch the overlays again, just so you can get a rundown of the top 20. But it shook a lot of things up. Alright. Willie Burton. We'll be bringing down to 9 reels restart zone. Burton up 23 spots for where he started. Kenny Rayner up 19. We're rolling again. Bit of a checkup, really. A big jump for Burton. Not sure if that's what you really wanted to see. Connolly gonna fall right back in line with him for now. That's the thing, for now. Eventually gonna jump outside. There he goes. And everybody's gonna go with him, hang out, Willie to dry. Good news is he's gonna have Chavez right behind him. Bad news is he's gonna go from first to about fourth. About Mark Pearson already up. Back up to second. Well, Pearson started second, so right now, running where he started. Luke Freeman and Kevin Tipton, the two teammates. Through the middle. Well, Freeman has not led a lap all night tonight. You cannot say the same for Kevin Tipton, has led 11 with 28 to go. With Decon right now continuing to lead. Pearson, Tipton, and Freeman trying to make the outside lane still work right now. The three of Wankovs Jr. not connected to them as what they really need to be, but nevertheless, here comes a run down the back straightaway. Freeman not able to get clear. Approaching halfway. Right now, of course, Deacon's been one of them at the front all night. They were talking about the 95 when we call him that. Freeman's just now working himself up into the mix. Carrington has been at the front all night. Wankovs Jr., Robbie had a little bit of contact from the 14 to the 95. They keep it straight. We stay green for a moment. Almost, man, they're jostling a lot, snaking their way down the back straightaway. But regardless, right now, I'm convinced there's nowhere really safe to ride. But right now, Willie Burton on a, right now, the only driver within the top 30 that did not pit under the last caution. Right now, everybody else on a 5-lap stint for Willie. 18 laps on a tank of gas. But right now he's praying for another caution. Hoping one comes out, they're gonna go 3 wide again. Robbie Adams right up on the outside. Right now, Nash Wright. Right now that's their highest running driver, Robbie Adams, trying to get back, trying to work themselves into the top 10. Well, Adams all over the place, gonna split Charlie 3 wide, go get into Tipton. Hang on to it, boys. Tipton hard into the wall. Other than that, they keep it straight, but the race, no, they didn't. They're wrecking in the back. No caution yet. RJ Murphy, massive damage. But right now, no caution for race control. But evidently, we're going to keep it going with 25 laps to go, but that has massively separated this front pack. And right now, this is all Decon wants to see. Pearson behind him, followed by Freeman and Willie, then Gavin Henson, Robbie Adams still, Taylor Austin, Frank Chavez, and Logan Young, the top 10. My mistake. Kind of surprised there's no caution there, but either way, we're going to keep it clean, keep it straight. Gavin now looking to the outside. Up side by side with Freeman, but no help. Here comes the help. Robbie Adams. There ain't going to be much with 24 to go, but it's coming. As the laps wind down, the driver's going to start tempting it again. Well, Kevin Tempton from the lead back to the 17th spot. Well, no telling what kind of damage is done to that 30. He's going to stay out this time, but that car has to be severely wounded. Right now, outside lane starting to form up again. And right now, see several drivers, Juan Carlos Jr., Pete Dowd, thought about making it 3 wide here. That'll put out radiator. Of course, we're going to reiterate the pit strategy linked here. See, right now, everybody went in the top 20 on the same strategy except Willie Bruton. Who is actually on a 22-lap run as they stand. So it's hard to say, 22 laps. Kind of hard to say. I don't think they're going to be able to make it unless there's another caution. Either that or going to have to make green flag pit stops. One of the two. Right now, 21 to go. Obviously, pit stops in the back of everybody's mind, but gonna have to wait and see how it plays out. Down the back straightaway again. Right now, Gavin Henson still trying to pull that outside lane up, trying to make something happen, but in surprising fashion, outside lane just not able to do nothing really tonight. It is kind of surprising when you look at HGR events and MMS and several other ones on this league. You normally see that outside lane really dominant, but right now outside lane's a dud. But right now, that little bit of it, right now I'm sure Decon sees that outside lane is not a threat. Probably choosing just to stick right down here to the bottom. Don't want to go to the outside lane for anything right now. But right now, it's in Dylan's hands. Still a long way to go. Really what you're looking at, that first incident, it's really split this pack up pretty good all the way to Michael Wingo back in 13th. That's how big this pack is, 13 cars. You got to go back about 8 seconds to the leader to find the other pack. This is Marco Thompson, Road Truck, Kevin Tempton, Corey Wright, Joseph Allen, just to name a few. Braden Powers is back there. Goins is back there. Even further back, find a little 5 car train with Rayner, Roland, Trevor Harmon, 1 lap down. CJ Papa's back there. That's pretty much the basics through the field. Gonna be 18 laps to go when they take the start finish line. Right on board with Dylan. Big Pearson leaving a gap. Pretty sure just trying to cool his motor off unless he's itching to go for that lead. Hard to say down the back straightaway. A big run. Really, nobody really trying to push hard in this moment. Well, I think a lot of drivers are starting to realize, unless there's a caution within the next handful of laps, in the next handful of laps, you know, you're going to have to make green flag pit stops, and that very well could be the caution that probably a lot of these drivers are looking for. Because getting on the pit road under green in these cars is the challenge. Now one driver trying to take it 3 wide on the outside. Don't try to figure out who that is. Well, right now, hard to say, but he'll slide in right in front of Juan Cobbs Jr. That would be, I believe, not the 38. Scott Lay, actually. So the 83 of Scott making moves late in the race here, trying to get to the front, going to try to stay behind Robbie Adams. Well, right now, see drivers trying to take 3 wide. Perhaps a sense of urgency starting to set in. Well, track position going to become a big thing if they make it to the green flag pit stop. Track position going to mean everything. Well, right now 3x3 again, almost touching deep in the back with Robbie Adams and a couple other ones. Frank Chavez in the middle there. He's going to try to get clear of it. Not able to get clear. They're still 3 wide with 15 laps to go. Well, right now, my worst case scenario that I would think for them drivers in the outside lane is bad enough that you're not getting, it's bad enough that the outside lane just cannot form that run that we're so accustomed to seeing. But when you start taking it 3 and 4 wide like that, it almost is worst case scenario, because now if you don't think you have the speed to get up there side by side again, just wait till you start falling backwards to the back of this pack, possibly even lose the draft. So right now as they run, right now, still 2x2. Not much is changing in the top 5. Gavin trying it again. Well, I think the only way you're going to get Dylan off that bottom lane, you're going to have to move him, but I don't know. Outside lane had a slight glimmer of hope, but now you're going to see the effects of being split up on the outside lane. Exactly what I talked about. You ain't formed up as it is. Sure, you can stay even with the car, but eventually you're just going to start slipping backwards. Now Robbie Adams trying to get to the back bumper of the 021. Or Taylor Austin. Right now, I gotta imagine Dylan's grinning ear to ear right now. Best case scenario, all you gotta do is hold the bottom lane. Outside lane's not a factor right now. With 13 to go, they're working on a 19 lap run. Right now, as it stands, 23 drivers. Matter of fact, several drivers coming into the pits now. One car through the grass. Well, we wonder when green flag pit stops was going to happen. You're looking at them. Perhaps a strategy call for these drivers. Hey, we're like 20-some seconds off the lead pack. Come in, pit, try to offset them. Corey Wright, Kevin Tipton, among others. Joseph Allen's back there in the mix. Yeah, that are banking on a caution. For a caution to happen right when our leaders come in, and here we go. Some drivers staying out. But Dylan Connolly now leads them down pit road, brings the majority of that 13 car pack with him. Freeman, Chavez, Gavin. Well, the ones that stay out, Mark Pearson, Trevor Austin, or Taylor Austin, I apologize. They have stayed out. Right there you see Freeman and others coming out as well. Right here is where it's going to be interesting with Tempton, Thompson, and Wright. But they ain't going to be able to really get around this lead pack to maybe have a say in this. We're about to find out. But right now, Pearson and Austin is in. But we're wondering how far could they go. Air rolling, black flag on pit road. Before the 29 of air rolling, night's done. And 28 spot will definitely go a lap down, if not more. Meanwhile, Mark Pearson and Luke Freeman. Pearson coming off of pit road. But it's going to be big. How will Pearson try to defend this? Pick a lane and stay in it. That's how you defend it. Because right now, here comes Henson on the outside with Timothy Cook. Decon will jump up with him in that third lane. Well, Chavez, and I believe that's Michael Wingo, it is. 7 drivers. Unless there's a caution, we'll have 9 laps to settle this between them. Right now, Dylan Connolly has led 16 laps tonight. The most of any driver, surpassed Kevin Tempton. Right now the 95 runs. Back in the 7th spot, 8th spot, somewhere along in there. Starting against single fight out now, it will be the 7th spot. Right there you see Stilly, 5.8 seconds back. We're going to find that lead pack here. That is the gap. And really, how big does that look? Well, I'm going to show you. You look at the track map, where you see that number 1, that is the lead pack. Where you see that number 8, of course, this is going off of the positions that the cars are running in. That number 8 to that number 1, That is what about 6 seconds looks like. Right now, Henson's still leading. They're going to run the lap car. One Carl Jr. No, CJ Papa. 7 to go. Well, Wingo made a move to step out. Nobody went with him. Question is, are they going to let him back in line, or is he going to have to fall all the way to the back to have a chance at this? Right now. Right now as it runs. Throw up one more pole here. Of course, the last pole for tonight. With 5 laps to go, you can put your comment in if you want to. You can choose if you want to. All I'm going to say is it's getting good. Well, right now, single file out. Nobody's really going to try and make this move, I feel like, until probably the last 2 laps. And they don't wait till the 1 to green. Right now, with this backpack back here, we just really honestly got too separated to really be a contender now. So unless there's a caution, it is between Gavin Henson, Mark Pearson, Luke Freeman, Frank Chavez, Dylan Connolly, Timothy Cook, and Michael Wingo. This is who this race will be decided by if it goes green. Well, all I got to say is it's been an awesome race from here on out, minus the 3 cautions we've had beforehand. 3 to go, and it's about to start getting good. Pearson looked out to the outside lane. Nobody going. Caution is out! Joseph Allen through the grass. Several other ones. Robbie Adams. Nash Rack 362. Involved in this one. And forget what I said. Well, this will not go to the end. We're going to look back and see what happened. Right now entering turn 3. Looks like Adams maybe hesitated and Joseph Allen. Just really nothing he could do, I feel. Let's actually look back at it in slow motion here. Well, how about Goins involved just now missing another one? Right there. Kind of hesitates, floats back up the track. From there, Allen occupies the spot. Really, I mean, Allen may have came up a little bit, but of course, Allen probably came down a little bit as well. But with that being said, 2-car spin will throw the caution out. Well, I can tell you that is not how I anticipated this race going. No, but the good news is, for these drivers, there should not be any more pit stops from here on out. Unless they only fill it up for regulation. All right. So it is the first of 3 attempts at green, white, checkered. I'm going to reiterate the rules. The first 2 attempts at green, white, checkered. If we do not make it back to the white flag, it's over. We're going to re-rack it. We're going to do it again. When we get to that 3rd attempt, I'm pretty sure, trying to remember, Justin was here, he could tell me. But I believe the 3rd attempt, no caution is thrown. They race it back out. All right, now let's see if we can't get Mark Pearson into the broadcast booth for just a couple seconds. Mark Pearson, Garrett Jenkins up here in broadcast booth, buddy. Got a quick copy?
Yeah, I sure do. What's going on?
I know I probably interrupted something important there, but I want to ask you. It looked like it was between you and 6 other drivers, and then the caution came out. How do you go about a green, white, checkered attempt, especially when you've been riding 2nd and 3rd the whole race tonight?
Yeah. Gonna stay green there, but that's all right. We're gonna re-rack them and try and pull this middle line, see what we can make happen. There is 3 GWCs, so hopefully we don't need them, and we can get it done in this first one.
Well, I do want to ask you real quick before I drop you back down. We have seen tonight that middle line has not been the dominant line like it's known to be. Is there any reason into why is that? Is it just not enough cars to really make it happen? Or is it just how the track settings are tonight?
It could be the track settings, could be the car, maybe not side drafting hard enough. But yeah, we haven't really been able to make any hay on the outside all night here.
All right, buddy. Well, best of luck to you. I'm going to drop you back down to where you were at. Hopefully we'll talk to you in about another 10 minutes.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Yep. Well, that was Mark Pearson. Going to be restarting in 2nd. Top 20 as they run under our 4th caution of the night. Gavin Henson, Mark Pearson, Luke Freeman, Frank Chavez, Dennis Connolly, Timothy Cook, Michael Wingo, Scott Lay, Aubrey Thompson, Kevin Tempton, the top 10. 11th on down, you got Wright, Stilly, Allen, Young, Powers, Austin, Road Truck, Goings, Bruton, Cobbs. It is not, this is far from over with. I want you to look at down there. Them drivers sitting outside the top 10. I've seen it a dozen times. The driver in 18th could very well win this race, depending on how it plays out. I'll give you a little short example in my first MMS broadcast. Austin Green on a green-white checkered attempt after being involved in a wreck and restarting 19th would come in 2 laps to steal the win in that first race. The same thing could very well happen tonight. We're going to find out. Henson, Pearson brings them down. We're rolling again. Great restart by Henson, about the best you could ask for. Pearson, the same thing. Able to drop down to the bottom. Chavez and White trying to form up that outside lane. Right now, it's not even organized. Here comes Luke Freeman to the outside, trying to make something happen. Well, this is the part of the race now. Like, to hell with the outside lane not working. You got to do everything you can. You see her going 3 wide. Really not the best case scenario for that middle lane. Joseph Allen trying to make it 3 wide. Allen is 3 wide, tops it in the middle. That is the back around the 11th to 12th spot. Off of turn 4. If they can make it to the Troy Oval, this race will be official no matter what happens. And at the line, Gavin Henson will lead them to the white flag. Oh, they're going to be wrecking behind. Massive wreck on the back straight in the middle of turns 1 and 2. We'll have to look back at it later. Decon to the middle. Mark Pearson, Luke Freeman trying to make everything they can happen. Right now they are clear. Pearson down to cover the bottom. Right now, does White and Conley have anything left? They're going to get one more shot at it coming off the 4. Here comes the run for the 95. Pearson's going to hold that bottom lane. Freeman is stuck to him. Decon going to look to the outside. Freeman's going to run him on track just a little bit. At the line, Mark Pearson back to victory lane at Talladega. Decon second, Freeman third, Timothy Cook fourth, Gavin Henson the top 5. Man, oh man. Can you believe it? Yeah, I can. What a finish. It's going to shake up the points a lot. Look at it now. I don't even see Pearson in the top 12 or the top 16 for that matter. But Pearson will be going to the playoffs. Man, oh man, this league, it never disappoints to produce some of the best finishes, especially in this series, the Super Speedway series. Well, Mark Pearson gonna see if he'll burn it down. Not going. Well, he's trying to get it started. There it is. Lamar Pearson burning it down in Talladega tonight. Top 5 across the screen. Luke Freeman, a great rebound to finish third. Well, let's see. So we can get Pearson in here. Well, Mark Pearson and buddy, I say it worked out pretty good for you.
Yeah, I wasn't so sure that it would. It did end up working out there.
Well, buddy, it was actually surprisingly a pretty calm race from what I thought. Only 5 cautions, four or five. Once it was 4. Let's take us to the night. Kind of had to work your way through a little bit of traffic, but once you got to the front, you stayed there. Take us through the night. Really, how hard was it to really push these cars, particularly in the middle of the corner? Because it seemed like a lot of drivers were struggling with that tonight.
Yeah, we couldn't really push it all in the corners tonight. The car was getting really upset. I started to notice that earlier in the race, so then we had to just get closer and kind of shove instead of bumping. It was a pretty clean race. A couple yellows in the back. I thought we were going to stay green and just fight it out with that little 6-pack we had going. And not really sure what happened to cause the last yellow, but we restacked them, and shout out to Luke for giving me the push across, and yeah, that's about it.
But I want to ask you, as the field flew apart, coming to the white flag, and now you're stuck there single file, did you expect Freeman or Decon to really try to step out of line? Did you feel like that maybe we ain't gonna stay single file through the last half of this racetrack? What was the thought process on that last lap, really? Because now you're shifting from not only now in the lead in turn 3, but now you know the 95 is going to get a shot, going to get one more shot at you. Luke Freeman, Timothy Henson, they're all going to get one more crack at you coming off of turn 4. At what point did it switch to being, well, now I'm trying to get to the lead, and now I got to defend the win?
Yeah, so coming across just after the white flag being first, it usually doesn't work out that well for the leader. I just kind of tried to keep it as high towards the wall as I could. Luckily, Luke stayed with me, and I wasn't sure how long we were going to stay single file for. I was kind of working with them during the race, so I kind of figured we'd all work together to get to turn 4, but yeah, once we got there, all bets were off. I knew they were both going to be coming. I knew Decon was going to have a good shot. I expected Luke to dive it in the middle, and he just gave me a big shot instead. So big shout out to him. I appreciate that.
Well, buddy, last question coming up. Is there anybody want to thank tonight? Friends, family, sponsors, etc.? The floor is yours.
Yeah, I just want to thank all the drivers for showing up, you for broadcasting it, Justin for putting the league on, and Colton, he kind of stepped up at the very last second to RC for us tonight, so shout out to him, appreciate that. Shout out to Luke for the push, Decon, I was working with them all race. Gavin, it was a pleasure pushing him around the track, and yeah, that's about it.
Well, for Mark Pearson tonight, he will know early that he will be locked into the playoffs, and now can rest easy for the remainder of the regular season. Congratulations on a win tonight. Hopefully we'll talk to you next week in the same spot.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Yep. That being said, I'll get Decon up in here in a minute. Just 1 second. After, I'm sure it's not where he wanted to finish, but he ought to be happy knowing that he will be getting some bonus points, a lot of bonus points, as a matter of fact, playoff points even. So get him in here. Decon, Gary Jenkins up here in the broadcast booth, buddy. Got a copy?
What's going on, man?
Well, buddy, not a bad race for you at all, to say the least. You'll lead the most laps tonight, 16 out of 53. Just take me through the night. Looked like the 95 had it pretty much in hand even after the last pit stop. And then there's that last caution Just take me through the whole race and then lean up to the green-white checkered.
I called you or told you during practice. I wasn't expecting you to talk to me. I was still finishing supper. That's why the answers were so short. Oh, it's all good. I didn't know, but I like it. I didn't. My mom told me not to talk with my mouth full. But yeah, the whole strategy, a lot of super speedways is just get through the chaos. I know it's not 100% foolproof. It's not even close to 100% foolproof. But if you could do that, then you'll be just fine. And the other strategy, I watched, Dale Jr., Jeff Gordon, super speedway racer. When I grow up, and their strategy was either be as close to the front or as close to the back as possible till like 10, 15 to go. Because you'll be able to dodge wrecks better that way. You never want to be like in the middle of the pack, and I never was. I think the lowest I was probably about like 6th, 7th or so. But it's it was a good strategy. I led a lot of laps. I just want to be up front. But shout Mark and Mr. Freeman. I can't remember his first name, but they did a good job tonight. I was going to work with all them, and we all ended up 1, 2, 3. But I wasn't really wanting that green, white checkered because that top 7 had kind of pulled away, and we done a good job. So I'm thinking in my head, okay, this was probably 5 or 6 to go. It's like, okay, at worst I can get 7th here. So I kind of hung at the back of that little pack, and I knew I could get to the front of it if it stayed green. It didn't go stay green, but yeah, I'm happy with 2nd. I'm fully confident, making the playoffs. I'm either going to win a race or point my way in, either one. I wasn't too just concerned about it at all. And I don't think I should be, because I plan on running all the races. And, last week I didn't have the best race ever, but I still pulled an 11th out of a race where I had 5 minutes of damage and used my quick repair. But, yeah, it was just a good race tonight.
Well, I do want to ask you, going back to that, got 2 more questions for you. It is the first one.
I got
you. You refer back to Daytona, of course. Big difference, not just in length, but in width of this track. When drivers come to Talladega, is it almost in a way a sense of relief, because you can do 3 wide, 3 wide mainly at both tracks, but with Daytona it's a little bit more narrow. Do you feel like some of the 3 wide action we saw tonight, do you feel like that made drivers a little more comfortable tonight versus to what we saw last week at Daytona?
This track, it is wider, so you can make 3 wide work at Daytona and Atlanta. I never have an issue with it, but fun fact, Daytona and Atlanta are the same width, in case you need that note. But Talladega, you just inherently have more room, because I've seen 4 wide work here comfortably with the right group of people. But it certainly creates a different dynamic, because anytime says, oh, let's get that 3rd lane going, you're kind of in a tight box. You can still make it work, but you have more room to give everyone else room, and I think it ends up just being better super speedway racing at a track like Talladega, just because it's just wider.
Well, I said last question, and I just thought of one more that I feel like you're really going to be able to give some great insight on. Now, I was telling the viewers, if you follow my channel a lot, you'll get HGR, MMS. You'll see a lot the middle lane in all the series, and even this one, where it's almost sort of overpowered tonight. You get a great run down the back straightaway. I must admit, we did not see that a lot tonight. Now, just from your opinion, do you feel like it's more of the cars, was just the temperature settings for the race tonight, or do you feel like the side draft maybe just isn't as effective in these cars as what we'll see out of a truck or a next gen or a Gen 4, so to speak?
Yeah, I think the middle is still the best way to go anywhere if you're able to. The bottom, you could avoid more calamity, but the way that this car is, it's really hard to push without getting somebody out of whack. I could take a push and it's okay, but a lot of times, unless you hit them perfectly square, it'll get the guy in front of you loose. So that's difficult when you're pushing someone, because I was with a couple different drivers in that middle tonight. I'm trying to remember who all I was with, but it's difficult run that middle, because you're not able to push like you can in the truck and the next gen car. Like Kevin Tipton was a guy I was working with all night, and I've raced around him a bunch, and I was fine around him, and I was even getting not great pushes from him, but it wasn't his fault. You have to be perfectly square to push in these cars and have a success. So that's why I kind of think that in this car, the bottom line is the line to go, unless you have someone pushing you that just absolutely knows what they're doing. But you're correct. The middle line, the higher ground's always going to win.
Well, buddy, last question for you. And I asked you earlier because I did not know if we were going to get the interview afterwards, but there's always the question to end the interviews. Is there anybody you want to thank? Well, again tonight, friends, family, sponsors, etc. The floor is yours, buddy.
Oh, yeah. Well, first off, I'm streaming on Twitch right now. It's Decon, twitch.tv/Decon. I got about 30 people watching. Shout out to all my great viewers, followers on Twitter, all that good stuff. Alpha Prime Racing folks love putting their logos on these cars. Tom and Joe Martins and them. They're expecting a big thing. They just signed Josh Williams last week. Expect a good time at Daytona next week. 42 paints, Alex Nessie painting this beautiful lizard scheme, the new meme sweeping the internet. It's funny. I kept hearing people say lizard every time I was in the background, but just want to thank Justin, everybody putting the league on, and two more people I want to shout out. I want to shout out Aubrey Thompson, who said, "Oh, I'm going to see you later in the race," and I never saw him because I was never around him because he was never up front. And I want to shout out John Roadtruck for finishing last on the lead lap. Just shout out to those two guys.
All right, buddy. Well, congratulations on a P2 tonight. Get the valuable points that you need. Look forward to talking to you. Hopefully, you'll go up one more spot next week.
Yeah, that'd be the plan. I mean, if I finish second every week, I won't be too mad. But I'd like to win one at some point. I appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all putting on the broadcast too. It's great. I had it up on another tab, and I saw a lot of people saying, "Man, it's doing a good job."
I appreciate it. I do the best job that I can, buddy. But for Decon tonight, it'll be a second place finish, and look forward to seeing you next Saturday. So that being said, shout out to everybody who says I do a good job. I take a lot of pride in this line of work here. Get our last top 3 interview of the night. Luke Freeman, Garrett Jenkins up here in broadcast booth. Got a copy, buddy.
I got you, buddy. How you doing, man?
My buddy, like I told Kevin Tent, a long time no see. I ain't heard a lot out of y'all since HGR about a month ago. I wanted to ask you, crazy race tonight. Really did not hear a lot out of you. Saw a lot out of Kevin until that incident earlier in the race kind of took him out for the running. But I want to ask, tough night tonight for several drivers. You had to come from the middle of the pack up to the front, got there in the last half of the race. How hard was it tonight really just trying to navigate the field if you were starting mid-pack or deep in the field?
I'll be honest. Starting the race, it was a little gridlocked. I didn't really have much room to work out there up until that first, I believe, or second caution there. And just to clarify, there, the Robbie Adams wrecked out my teammate Kevin Tipton. He was the one that caused that one and ruined that one. So that was the unfortunate event between my team out here. We were really planning to work together out here with our league debut tonight, and just unfortunately got separated. But still managed to make things work. Big shout out to Mark for working with me up there near the end. It was a wild one.
My buddy, it was a wild one indeed, but only 4 cautions tonight. I want to ask you this: green, white, checkered rules are in effect. They're right behind you, and I'm trying to remember to restart in the back of my head. But man, you and Pearson get clear, if I'm not mistaken. It was there really anything else that you would redo on that last lap, or was it pretty much? That was just your fate. You were going to be stuck wherever you were at.
I honestly thought it was kind of cut and dry. I mean, I kind of was I was pushing Mark up there for the last handful of laps. I was happy where I was sitting pretty much the whole majority of that race. I just wanted to be up near the front. The league debut of the night, I just kind of wanted to have a good, maybe top 5 finish. And to be in the podium, I couldn't be happier, honestly. I really couldn't.
Well, buddy, I will ask you this question as well because I've asked Pearson and I just asked Decon the same question only because it was just so strange tonight. I know that people watching tired of me asking this question, but it's really caught me up. It's really caught me off guard with this type of racing. I think Decon put it best. It's just how you push with these cars. But for those that watch, my broadcast a lot, they'll see a lot of MMS, which is now guaranteed on a Sunday night for here on out for the foreseeable future. So everybody tune in to MMS tomorrow night. But you'll see on HGR and MMS, the middle lane, really the dominant line tonight. Really, well, not tonight, but the dominant lane 90% of the time is the middle lane. Decon still thought the middle lane was the best. Was still the best line to be in. I want to get your opinion, though, just see if they all line up. Tonight, it just seemed like that middle lane just did not have the momentum that we're used to seeing. Do you think it was more of a pushing issue from your perspective of things, or do you feel like it's just the car in general? What do you think really prevented guys to get a run big enough to get the lead entering turn 3?
I mean, I'll be completely honest with you, man. I think it's just due to the track size. I mean, Talladega being the biggest track out there, I mean, you really don't have, I don't even know really how to put it. I mean, you got so much room. That second line just has so much more speed if you can get 2 and even 3 people up there with you. My big concern going to the checkered flag, I was just sputtering out of fuel getting ready out at the end of the race. So I was barely cutting it close on fuel, so I was dead set on holding that low line, and I was honestly crossing my fingers hoping that Mark kept it down there with me.
Well, but I will say, so needless to say, you're one of several drivers, especially that top 7. Y'all are not looking forward to that green white checker coming up, I gotta presume.
Oh no. I had to say a quick prayer there before going to that last white flag. I was crossing everything going to that white flag.
Oh Lord. I can imagine. I've been there before. Man, it's rough in officials. I'm just gonna put I'm just gonna put that out there. But
couldn't agree with you more.
Last question for tonight, then it's the one that pretty much ends the interview. Is there anybody want to thank tonight? Friends, family, sponsors, etc. The floor is yours.
Let's see here. Big thanks to Mark, obviously, for helping me out there near the end of the race. Conley helped me out a bit there, getting up there near the front. Wingo helping me make the transfer from the middle all the way up there to the front of the pack. And all my team and all the guys out there at 9th Gear, we got some big stuff coming in the works. And to you, of course, for the interview.
All right, no problem, buddy. Look forward to seeing what 9th Gear's got in store for Luke Freeman tonight. He will walk into, well, now what's technically Sunday morning with a P3 finish and gaining valuable points to the cut line. Appreciate you.
Sure is buddy. Sunday morning.
Yeah, man. Weekend.
Thank you.
So that being said, we're going to run through the results real fast tonight. If I can get them pulled up, that'd be great. So to round out round 2 of the Midnight Racing League Super Speedway Series. Mark Pearson's your winner. Decon will come in second. Luke Freeman third. Timmy Cook fourth. Gavin Henson, Aubrey Thompson, Kevin Tempton, Braden Powers, Taylor Austin, and Edward Kimmel will round out the top 10. Michael Wingo, Willie Bruton, Dustin Seck, Logan Young, man. Up and down day for him. Upside down in the first caution of this race. Had to sell for 14th. Robbie Adams in 15th. Taylor Markell in 16th. Trevor Herman 17th. Brandon Goings will round out this race in the 18th spot. On down through the field, we got a little bit more. Joey Allen, Frank Chavez, Gary Stilley, Kevin Allen, Mitchell Rendon, Scott Lay, John Road Truck, Corey Wright, Juan Carlos Jr., and R.J. Murphy. That is the top 28. There's still a little bit more. C.J. Papa, Aaron Rowland, Kenny Rayner, Robert Sherity, and 32nd, Aaron Stanton, who's a regular on the Friday night scene, made his debut tonight for the Super Speedway Series. Well, for Season 2 he did. Unfortunately for Stanton, it will result in a 33rd place finish, and then Kevin Winker, Chase Mastrilla not even making the race tonight. They will round out the field in 34th and 35th. Well, with that being said, it's a hell of a race tonight. Very few cautions, to say the least. No, we have 4 or 5, but still, I feel like it was a great race. Congratulations to Mark Pearson. He is your winner tonight. And with that being said, I will see everybody tomorrow night. Still up in the air for Bash at the Beach. I personally do not think that race will going to get kicked off due to lack of drivers tonight, but we'll have to see how it plays out. And until tomorrow night, I'm Garrett Jenkins. This has been the Raging Get It Racing Network, bringing you coverage of the Midnight Racing League Super Speedway Series. And I will see everybody tomorrow night. Everybody, enjoy the rest of your weekend.